It's time for your Talk Time Live exclusive.
You are now about to witness the strength of geek knowledge.
Ladies and gentlemen, my next guest returns to talk about her scandalous new role in the hit Peacock series The Burbs, based on the classic 1989 Tom Hanks dark comedy, which also stars Keke Palmer in an elite comedic cast. Her name is Danielle Kennedy, and she is back to talk about her latest role and more. Danielle, welcome back to Talk Time Live.
Oh,
how you doing?
So happy to be here, Dax.
Always
Yay.
a pleasure. This is your fourth time on this show, right?
It's 4. That's right. Yes.
Yeah, I think you and Molly now are neck and neck.
Oh, that's great. Well, I'll have to tell Miley, she's going to have to come on a 5th time here.
Yeah, whichever one of you get it on the show next gets a free mug. That's all I'm saying.
I love it. I love it.
I didn't say what. I'm just a random mug, but
we'll take it.
No, but I'm very happy as always to have you on here. And every time you come on the show, you always surprise me with something new that you've done. And since the last time we spoke, you've been in a lot of different awesome projects. And we need to talk about You and the Man Inside season 1 with Ted Danson, which was an awesome show.
That was so fun too. Yes.
But this one takes the cake because you're in a prominent role. And at the beginning, it doesn't, they sneak you in. And then as you're watching the 8 episodes, it's surely like you're in on something huge. And I don't want to spoil this for anybody who didn't see it, but I highly recommend it for those who haven't and love the Tom Hanks movie. Go check out this show on Peacock. It is absolutely awesome. It still has the same energy, the same comedic time and aura, and with a refresh vibe to it. And I so enjoyed it. It's funny story before we even really get started. My wife was very afraid to watch this show, believe it or not. She's never watched the original Burbs. My wife comes from a county region, growing up Christian county region, so they didn't. It was almost like she was in the town that that created Footloose.
Oh, yes.
So she's never got a chance to see the Burbs and doesn't know why this is a comedy or whatnot. But I watched the first episode myself, and I was like, you know what? She's gonna kick herself in a butt if she doesn't watch this and find out that it's not what it was. Because the promo didn't really. It gave it was more insight for those who've already seen the movie. But if you didn't see the movie, it comes off a little bit like spooky and yes, like dark, like mystery wise. But if you don't know, if you're not familiar with the cast as well, you don't realize that like this is a comedic cast. There's no way. But she got to see the first episode and she was immediately all in.
Oh,
so much to the point that we were going to skip on watching the last 2 episodes on our birthday. She was like, "No, we're watching it."
Oh wow, that's an honor on her birthday. Wow.
Oh, talk about an honor. She knows you. She knows how sweet and nice you are. But your character. She said if it wasn't for the fact that I knew who you were, I would have hated you.
That's okay. She can love to hate me.
Yeah. Take it as a badge of honor, I guess. But let's talk about this show. How did you come across this project, and as well as the role of H.O.A. President Agnes Festersen, by the way, mind you?
All I can say is, pure luck. You mentioned A Man on the Inside. I don't know if this is true. I'm just speculating, but that project for me was such a blessing. Mm-hmm. And I was very fortunate to get on that show. I had a little bit of a history there because I was on Parks and Rec, and I came back for a couple of episodes. So when they were casting that show, they recognized my self-tape from Parks and Rec. And right. So I was a little bit kind of in that family of supporting actors during that great era of Parks and Rec. So I think that helped. And then to be cast as Helen Kubler, who was a real, stickler, I think that it might have helped my cause to at least get an audition for the Burbs. It came out of nowhere. It was, we were just talking about it. Husband and I were just talking about it. It was a year ago. And I think I was on the tail end of the flu.
Mm.
and not feeling all that great. And my daughter was up from LA, and the self tape request came in. And the audition was to do a portion of the speech from the block party. I'm not going
Yes.
to give any spoilers away, but there's a block party,
I know what you're talking about.
and the H.O.A. president gives a speech in
Right.
episode 4. And so that's all I did. And
Mhm.
I thought, wow, this looks so much fun. But I wasn't feeling that great. I mean, I'm feeling great when I did it, because you
Right.
can be an actor, and if you're sick, it doesn't matter. You get on that stage,
You
you get
get,
in front of
yeah.
the camera, you are well for the 5 minutes or an hour that it takes to do what you have to
The
do. It's
adrenaline
kind of
kicks
how
in, I
we're
guess.
wired. But I forgot about it, and I think I've said this to you before. When you forget stuff and you let it go, bingo, out of nowhere, I got an offer, and I was so excited. And I cannot tell you what a gift it was, not only to get that part, but to be involved with Kiki and Jack and Paula and Mark and Kathleen Kenny and Max and I mean, God, I don't want to forget
Julia Duffy. I
Julia,
mean,
my
for
my
goodness sake.
Julia Duffy, my arch enemy on the show, who I absolutely adore and adored, was a fan all the way back to Bob Newhart. And
Exactly. I solely, when I saw her, I'm like, oh my God, this is an awesome cast. Like, I loved Newhart. Okay.
I did too.
Oh,
I did
Newhart
too.
was such a great show, and she was kind of the show stealer of that almost every episode.
Absolutely. And to do these scenes with her and to have this relationship, we had so much fun. That's all I can tell you. I have never felt happier. I mean, I loved Man on the Inside, and I loved Narcos. I loved all those shows. But, I really got a chance to be part of the main cast on this one. And Celeste Huey, who is the showrunner and creator and writer, couldn't be a finer human being.
Definitely kudos to her.
Yeah, and the whole cast and crew, every
Yeah.
single person. It was a blast.
You know what's the great part about what I felt with the directors and everything? I don't know if Celeste Huey had any intake to this or insight for this. The music selection alone
I
was
love
so great.
Yes. She had
It
a lot to do
narrated
with it.
every episode, but it also gave you a presence of what it is going on with it. It was just, I was like, okay, this is the Burbs, but this is a different type of Burbs.
Yes.
This is a
Yes.
very different vibe, and how they just still managed to keep everything, all packed in while adding just a little bit more to the formula. It was just really awesome.
Well, I hadn't seen any of it. And we went to the premiere, which was like a week or so ago, and we got to see just the first episode. And I'm basically just introduced in the first episode, which is
Yeah.
great. But Bill Withers, It's a Lovely Day came on. I was sitting there. My husband Mike was with me. The whole cast is in front. I just started crying.
Oh,
I love that song, and I
Yeah.
loved all the music in
Yeah.
that first in the whole show. But all I had seen up to then was, that night. I was a brand new audience person myself, and
Mhm.
tears of joy,
it,
tears of
it,
joy.
it, it gets better. It gets better.
Yeah.
Like each episode has a really well placed song on there, like an R&B classic on
Yeah.
there it really just sets the tone of
Yes.
everything. And
Yes.
Kiki's narration towards and I love the Samara character, and she is not play in here.
He is
And
astounding.
it touches on some real world things that it goes
Oh,
on
you
in the
betcha.
minds of the Black community as well. It's like, can you be in a new cul-de-sac area that's distant from what you are? Can you coexist with people? Can you create that community of like-minded people? And as you see the episodes go on, you see that connection, but also there's some skeletons in everybody's closet through this whole thing. It gets
Yes.
so great. And then when it comes to your situation, how they weave you in, I think was just so well done.
Oh,
Because
I
you
I was
gotta
thrilled.
go watch the rest of it, because as you get to the final episode of the season, it's like it's apparent that, like, okay, you play a very prominent role in this, and there's a lot of suspect situation that is going on involving you, possibly or maybe not. They leave it so open ended, but want you wanting more by this point.
Well, the funny thing is, we didn't know what was happening from episode to episode.
Right.
It evolved
Okay.
because they were writing it and, not sharing and then sharing when it was time to share.
Yeah.
And I loved that because
Mhm.
I didn't go in there with any preconceived notions. I went in there not expecting any outcomes, not, oh, I got to play it this way or play it that way. I thought Robert Duvall, God rest his soul, had a wonderful quote that I actually put on my Instagram today. He said, I never played a character. I played myself altered.
Mm.
And that's pretty much what that was for me. Agnes was, somebody said it was you on steroids. Well, I have to tell you, I have a big family. I had 4 sons.
Right.
So, I tapped into
Really
a
played
lot of
into
that,
it. Yeah.
and I didn't plan it, but the writing was so good and I committed to this presidency, which I took totally seriously.
But yeah, we're going to talk about that part too.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, I didn't know what was happening from episode to episode. Every time we came to set, it was a treat for us too to unravel it.
So here's the thing. You talked about your auditioning.
Yes.
What does the audition prep for you look like in this stage of your career? Do you still have, that pressure of auditioning, or is it like, are you the go-to person for particular roles at this point? Because you have a range of comedy to horror, and then some other, and then serious roles like narco and dramatic roles and stuff like that. Do you know when there's a role that's out that's almost pretty much designed for you in some cases, or are you still just approach it the same way you done from day one?
Well, I don't think I approach it the way I did from day one,
Hmm.
because I think I was definitely more attached uh, back then, 20 some odd years ago. Not that I'm still not attached, but I don't take the rejection so personal. When I finish an audition, I usually just throw the sides out and I don't think of it. I've learned a lot of great spiritual lessons from acting. Just prepare as if you're going on Broadway, whether it's a self tape or you're going into the studio to audition in person. This is your chance. You're performing. And I also don't get so crazed now about, oh, well, I remember the lines, because I know that if I really prepare things about who this character is and what she's trying to say and what she's trying to get across, and I really kind of intake that whole story, the memorization process will come easier for me. Whereas, I realize you got to learn the lines to get them out of the way
Right, right.
so that I can just really be in the moment.
The delivery
And
is also important as well.
yes, yes. So I would say there's definitely still anxiety. I don't think that ever goes away for any actor, but there's a piece about, if this is meant to be, it will be. Because every single role I've ever gotten kind of took me off guard.
Mm.
And I'm not saying the preparation took me off guard. I mean, I went in 100%. I was all in. But then I just like, okay, we'll let that go. Next, what's up? And so I'm trusting. It's a big act of faith.
Yeah. What would you say is the most intriguing aspect about your role as Agnes?
Having everything under control.
Mhm.
Uh, just not wanting any surprises to slip into my world. They would kid me. They'd call me the queen of the cul-de-sac. They go, oh, here comes the queen of the cul-de-sac, which is funny because in our lifetime, Mike and I have been married 45 years. We've lived in houses on 4 cul-de-sacs.
Wow.
Yeah. We raised a big family on a
You were
cul-de-sac.
definitely prepared for this role.
Yeah. Yeah. I know all about cul-de-sacs. But I think with Agnes, it was like that side of me that, hey, don't sucker punch me.
Right.
Hey, um, don't sideswipe me. This is my world. Who are you? I don't know if I want you here because you're different. And we're trying to keep this place, a lot of law and order in here. I mean, that's the premise I am coming from.
Now, I will say this too about her character, because there was a part, that responsible part, the weight that bears the crown part of her.
Yes.
That's the part I actually did like about her, because as a person who has taken under responsibilities as managerial roles and stuff like that in the past, or having to do, take responsibilities, that pretty much leads a group of staff of people. I get
Yes.
I get the weight that holds, and I get
Yes.
how diligent she was too. So like for the first few episodes, I'm not thinking anything of your character or Agnes in the sense of she's just trying to keep peace and maintain peace within the community, you
Exactly.
know? And
Exactly.
you mentioned just briefly about like, there's some difference in all this stuff. There's some cultural aspects of it, but Agnes's character doesn't present herself in that way. She just want to make sure that there's order no matter who you are. In this
Exactly.
case, she's not like
Yes.
her dim-witted son-in-law in
Yes.
this
Max
case.
Farber, isn't he great?
Yeah,
Danny.
he's
Yes.
too good.
Oh, he's terrific. And I love him. I love him.
He is a hilarious dimwit of a dude, and a
I love
bully,
him.
and a past bully for life. So, no, I really enjoyed that part. But as like I said, as the show goes on, it's like, wow, I don't know if I like this part about her. What is going on here? What the hell? It's getting too dark and deep. So,
Yes. Yeah.
but I still, with that even said, I still love. I empathize with the responsibility that she bears,
Yes.
and I don't know whether I would have a handbook as big as the one that she has. The HOA handbook is just insane. Only something that a lawyer would want to read. By
And of course, Kiki, he's a lawyer.
she's a
You know.
lawyer, and she did not hold back at all. So, and here's the other
Oh,
thing too.
she's just a miracle. She can do anything.
Here's the other thing I
Kiki
love
can
too.
do anything.
I've been a fan of her since A Killer and the Bee, which every
Oh,
time I see her,
me too.
every single time I see her, I just think A Killer and a Bee was such a long time ago. She was just such a little kid. One of the most successful young acting careers of all time.
Oh, for sure. And boy, what a team player. Somebody that you just love to be on set with and work with.
Mhm.
And she's got so many things going. They
Absolutely.
call her Kiki Got a Job Palmer. And she's got this fabulous son, Leo, and
Mhm.
he was on set. And, we'll stop for a moment. She'll go take Leo for a little walk, and then she'll come back, and she just, those words just roll off her tongue.
Right.
I mean, I got a master class just being in the same room with her.
Wow. You do my favorite role. I mean, my favorite scene of the show is when you guys at the block party meet up, because I think that is a moment where you looking back at it, and when you see everything at the end and looking back at it, that was a moment that was kind of the prelude to everything that's about to happen later on.
Yes.
It was a
Yes.
little hint. It was a little, implied, embedded, little moment that we didn't realize when you keep going on this going down the rabbit hole. These two are going to be set.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it really, it is very subtle, and that's what I love about it. There's a lot of subtleties that kind of builds on itself as it goes on, and like I said, the placement of everything and storytelling and the character development, so well done. And you two, I look forward to seeing what you two are gonna get into down the line.
Oh, well, I'm all in. If she's in, I'm in all the way. It's funny, the block party when I kind of broke up the fight. So
Mhm.
I have a son, Robert. He's a firefighter,
Okay.
and he loves the show. And he
Mhm.
was texting me, and when I went after those boys and told them, stop it, and then also his earlier self, Robert's earlier self,
Yes.
going through my garden, he texted me. He said, "Mom, you were talking to Robert like you talked to me when I was a teenager, weren't you?" He says, "You were backing into that," and I loved when he said that. But
That's awesome.
life and experiences, you tap into them. You don't even know you're doing it. It's subconscious.
Right. And it played very well. I mean, it's really awesome to see like you're kind of reliving your own self. This was like in your element, per se.
Yes, yes.
What do you think is Agnes's positives? I mean, we kind of you can kind of weigh out what her positives and negatives are, but I want to hear from you with this character. You kind of see where things are going at near the end, but which doesn't get any more positive by this point. But I do believe there may be some more endearing personality traits about her. What did you get out of that, if any?
Well, a couple things without a spoiler, but the relationship with Bill. We've
Mm,
been married many, many years.
yeah.
It may not appear to be the most loving relationship, but I think if you explore that, uh, it is. I think we find out particularly the hurt that Agnes feels uh, during what happens between Julia and Randy, which was they did that so wonderfully, but there was hurt there, so, long time marriage, betrayal, underneath that, tough as nails kind of gal. One of the daughters called me. My daughter said, "Oh, you're a real stickler, aren't you, Mom?" I think that, that's all oftentimes a front.
Yeah.
And so, long-term
Yeah.
relationships, there's that jealousy, that sense of, don't cross my territory. This is my man.
Hmm.
Uh, that's all part of Agnes. I think,
Yes.
Agnes has a great relationship with her daughter, Kat, and I love Kathleen Kenny, who
She
plays
was hilarious. She's another one.
Lauren Festersen.
Yes.
She's just, oh, it couldn't be better. And we immediately bonded as soon as we
Yeah.
met each other. We immediately bonded. But we're buddies. She's my girl, and if you remember, she was going around promoting the block party, and you have
Hmm.
to come. She says to Samira, to Kiki, that this is my mother's really outdone herself this year. So I think that there is that relationship to explore. I think also people that are in power and are taking charge like that and are so protective, there's a reason for that. And sometimes the reason goes way back, maybe to a traumatic childhood. Who knows? I just think that there's more to Agnes than,
There
pounding the
definitely,
gavel.
absolutely, there definitely was a defense mechanism within her
Yes.
that I detected as well. Especially again, as things unravel later on in the episodes, you start to see that there's some history that
Yes.
is going on, and something that I would hope that they would further explore as well.
Oh, I hope
Because
so too. I have no idea, but I really hope so.
right, um, aside from well, actually, let me go to this one. Who on the set did you enjoy working with the most? Because I had to
Oh.
believe that there's a lot of great chemistry on in that set.
Well, there was a lot of great chemistry, but most of my scenes were with Julia Duffy, if you recall, and Kathleen and Randy, who plays my husband,
Yes,
and Danny, Max Carver. So
yes,
the way call sheets are set up and the way filming is set up, those guys may be over on another soundstage, like
mhm.
Jack and Kiki and Paula and Mark and Julia, but in many cases, Julia's with me. And then Kapil. Kapil is wonderful. Oh my God, I can't
Yes.
believe it.
I
I
get
love
it.
Kapil.
He's another one.
He's a hoot.
I he was on I think like the first two seasons of Night Court. He was awesome.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'm a huge Night Court fan, and so like when they brought that back and he was on there as the new bailiff, I think, or whatever. I forgot what role he played in there, but he was the person aside from from Judge Stone.
Yes.
He was awesome. He was hilarious on there.
The energy that he brings every day when you're working. He's just so much fun, so much fun. But I have to really say that the people that I interacted with the most were, first and foremost, Julia, and then my daughter Kathleen, and Randy, my husband
Mhm.
Bill, and of course Danny. So I got very, very close to all of them. But I think that the relationship between Julie and I was probably really special, the most special for me, because we had to find that.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you can't really do that unless you love somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not love her as the characters, but in real life, you make each
Respect
other
their craft
safe
and
to
yeah.
know that I can say F you and do all that stuff. And, they'll say cut and then we'll crack up,
Mhm.
And so, yeah, I love Julia Duffy. She's just a queen. She really is.
Yeah, she's just one of those actors that, like, especially throughout time in her career, that just people had so much respect for, because she
Yes.
really puts it in every single role she does. But
Right.
I mean, and it feels like she does it flawlessly, like effortlessly.
She does. It's very simple. And
Hmm.
even, as crazed out as I would get in the scenes with her, she just kept this calm, cool, like, whatever, Agnes, you know, you're not shaking me up, girlfriend.
Right.
And that, if you're ever in a battle with anybody and they won't react to you, and you're the triggery one. I mean, I think we just had that fantastic, because the calmer she'd be and the more she blew me off, the more ticked off I would get.
And you felt that, and that
Yeah.
was so awesome. And the other thing too, if you're playing somewhat to be what is suspect to be like an antagonistic character, you got to have multiple people coming after you. So you got
Yeah.
her, you got Lynn going after you, you got Samara coming after you. You may have Todd and Dana, who are also
Yeah.
teaming up with them as well. And by the way, out of all the characters in this show, and I know you haven't watched all of them yet, but Todd is possibly the most hilarious one of
Oh,
all.
I have seen them all now. We've seen them here.
Okay,
But
good.
I totally in love with Todd and Paula. Oh my God. They're
You know
just
what
the
freaked me up
best.
about Paula Pell character is that when she has her hair done like that, and the way I used to work at a corporate office where my CEO looks exactly like her and sounds just like her. It creeped me out to no end. I had to
Oh,
get myself out of the understanding, like, that's not her. But she was awesome. She was all of them were, and I love that. Like,
they really are. Every one of them.
I love that they all have. They're not all perfect by any stretch, just because they are, in a very well, area, a very well protected, supposedly the safest place in the United States area.
The safest place in America.
Yeah. How did that happen? But they all have some, hidden things that makes them open up more, especially Lynn. We won't talk about that, but
No,
oh
no.
God, that's a crazy thing.
Oh,
But they
it's
also,
crazy.
no matter what, and this is the great theme about the show. It's like, no matter what each other backstories each other have, they embrace each other.
Very
And
true.
that's, I think, is one of the key things people should pay attention to, especially in this current climate of things.
You better believe it. You know when that really came through
Mhm.
uh, was at the end of episode 1, after what happens
Absolutely.
to Kiki,
Yeah.
and then she makes a decision to stay.
Yeah.
That
That
touched my heart so much.
when they all came together at her house and
Yes,
they decided they wanted to
I
look.
thought that was just, like, and it's not just on set when we're acting, but you gotta hand it to post-production, and like you say, the music and the editing. They did everything so terrific.
And you can see the smile on her face, the little gentle smile of her, even though she just went through possibly a traumatizing situation. It's not even possible. It was a traumatizing situation. Them being there, she started to break open that wall.
Oh, yeah, and they
And you can see
really
it in her
were a
face.
family. They
Yeah.
really they bonded, they
Yeah.
bonded in that show, all those
And
people.
I think that's the moment where I think everybody who watches it clicks on. I will tell you this. That part for me was very, I want to say it was traumatizing. It was empathetic, but I've also had experiences like that. Um, what I didn't have is that positive support group around me at the time. I mean, if anything else, just my mother and my best friend's mom and such like that. But it was never in a sense of like you feel safe in the area regardless of what's going on in the world.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it just, that part right there for me was very comforting to see that, like, this is what I would love for it to happen had it, during the time when I was racially profiled and wrongfully arrested, and stuff like that. Like, I would have loved to have that moment of, peace from all the people.
Yes.
It didn't happen for me at the time. So it was like really great that we're at a place where they could tell stories of stuff like that happening, but also like, there are actually great people out there that are looking out for you, regardless of where you from, who you are, or whatever like that. You know,
I totally agree. And you can take it, even for me, I was an only child and oftentimes feeling like an outsider,
Mhm.
early on, until I really kind of found my pace, which was, gosh, by the time I got to high school, and I went to an all-girl high school, and I still have great bonds with these women.
Mhm.
And so when you get that feeling, whether it's you break out of the crowd, you try a new job, and there's all the haters or disbelievers over here, and oh, why are you doing this and that? You're criticized. Everybody has experienced this kind of thing.
Everybody.
And so when you find your tribe, when you find your people, and how wonderful you could start by saying it came from my mother, because that's what we hope to do as parents do, is to give them that support, especially when they're finding their wings. But I related to that too for my own story, so I think it's all of us as humans, the being the on the outside looking in, and then finding your tribe, and within that group of safety, that's when great things happen.
Absolutely.
Creativity, everything.
It's safe to say that it's definitely happened meeting you
Oh, well, the
and Molly
feeling
and
is
Lisa,
mutual.
and like, just really blessed that the road that I've gone has led me to all of you guys. And it,
Well,
in,
we feel the same way.
in the weirdest way. And I'm more grateful than anything for it.
Oh, thank you.
Danielle, thank you for coming on the show. I got one fun bunch of questions for you, but just want to say thank you. You've been a complete treasure since the day we met, since Molly, connected us, and ish, you've just been awesome. I love following your career. I've loved seeing your career even before I knew you. Even now, it's just even more special because I have a really great connection to you. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you too. I mean it.
So, all right, now let's have a little bit of fun because
Okay.
I actually saw, you've seen this before. Peacock put out some stats, some bios or stats list of your characteristics and things that you're involved in, other characters involved. So I picked up yours. I want to see which part of Agnes Festersen's characteristics match with yours, especially now that I know that you're Codasec bound. Let's hear it. Let's talk about this.
Okay.
Are you the block captain, or we call them block captains? We're in the East Coast, by the way. Are you the block captain or president of your own cul-de-sac neighborhood? And if so, do you know the person that is a block captain or president? And if so, do you or they lead with an iron fist like Agnes?
I am not, and I never will be. But I do know the HOA president, and the person, I'm not going to say male or female, has just retired. And this person lives right across the street from me, and pretty much ruled with an iron fist, but know this person now very well, and pretty much of a softie way down inside. But that was not my impression the first day we moved here, because we had our U-Haul truck parked in front of the mailbox across the
No.
street from this person's house. And I got a little knock, knock, knock on the door. Move your U-Haul.
Right.
So that's all I'll say, 'cause I don't
Very,
want anybody to not like me on my block.
great answer. Very well said. Do you have a dog? And if so, do you clean up after him?
I had many dogs. We do not have a dog now, but yes, we
Mhm.
cleaned up after our dog. Yes.
Wait, was that purpose? Was Agnes purposely doing that just to piss off Lynn?
Oh yeah.
Because the look on her face at the beginning of the show when she did that, it was like there was no like just no empathy at all for her.
No, don't you remember at the top of one of the episodes when I let the dog out, I take a peek to see if Darla, in fact, took a dump on Julia's lawn, and then
Like
good
absolutely
girl when
trained,
she came back.
absolutely trained to a T to do that.
Yeah,
That's
trained to take a dump on
that is
Julia
evil.
/ Lynn's lawn. Yeah, it is. Hey, that's Agnes.
That is Agnes. Do you have anything memorized as Agnes does with the HOA handbook?
Yes. Yes, I have a lot of things memorized, but they're prayers, like the Our Father, the Hail Mary, the Memorare. Coming from a Catholic background, I can still recite and know all of that. And other things, oh, songs. Oh my gosh.
Of course.
Yeah,
Of course.
my mother played the piano, so I was raised on Sinatra and Peggy Lee and Dean Martin, and I could go on and on. And I have a song catalog of lyrics that goes back 80 years.
I think you and me could go toe to toe in that, especially like with the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Oh, big time.
Yeah, because if I'm riding with my wife in a car, because she knows she really has no modern understanding of pop cultural songs and all this stuff. I think she gets amazed at every time I sing a song in the car, word from word. Every time something on the radio pops in, I know the lyrics of it.
Yeah, that's how I am. I'm the same way. And I go way back with music. And that was really instilled by my mother and my grandmother. My grandmother sang opera in Italy, in Naples, Italy. Yeah, so we're very musically inclined. And I have song lyrics and prayers and all that kind of stuff embedded in my head.
Awesome. Last question. Are you mean or rude to any Girl Scouts?
No.
You took too long to say that. There was a slight
No, I'm
pause there.
not. Pardon?
There was a slight pause there.
I didn't know I love Girl Scouts. They're selling cookies right now in front of my grocery store.
Which is the biggest reason not to be mean to Girl Scouts.
That's right. No,
You
I
never
love
want to be without Thin Mints.
That's right.
All right, Danielle, thank you so much again. You obviously probably don't know or can't tell or whatever like that. NDAs are a bitch. But what are you hoping to happen if a season 2 comes?
Well, I'm hoping that I'll come back. It's been indicated that I will come back, but
Yeah.
there's nothing official. So
Mm-hmm.
that's all. I don't know anything more than you do.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I'm hoping that not only will I come back, but they'll layer me down more and go a little bit into my history and give me some evil or not evil stuff to do. I'm up for
That's
all
the
of it.
that is the thing about how they ended the show. It's like it's so open ended. You can't be because that was the whole thing with everybody. Everybody, like you couldn't necessarily pinpoint. There were so many really great twists and turns and subtle. You couldn't really pinpoint whether somebody was an antagonist or a protagonist at all. Sometimes, right during the 5th episode or whatever, like that, things kind of twist because you discover something new. Suspicion about a particular character, and then later on you find out that it wasn't all that it was cracked up to be. So they keep the ball rolling with it. So yeah, layering of your character, especially because we learned a lot of things in the first season that they kind of hinted on things from history with Lynn, and then also just or her husband, and then also like just layer it down to why you are who you are and why you do. You know
exactly. I would love that. I would.
Everything's pretty much is in a gray.
Yeah. They could go any way with it. I mean, they could kill me. They could send me to prison.
That would be
They
awesome.
could tolerate me.
I think you would run the. I would think you would run the whole prison.
Well, maybe that's part of the story,
That would be awesome. I would
Yeah,
love to
if you look
see.
at Martha Stewart, she went to prison and God, she became a hero in prison. She went from some kind of, I don't know, bad deal
Yeah,
to Mother Teresa. Maybe I'll have a big conversion in prison. I'd
that
go
will
for that.
be so epic if you run the entire prison in the same fashion that you run the entire cul-de-sac.
Oh.
That would be. I will just blow up.
Well, I'm hoping, and I love your enthusiasm and Esther's too, and I'm so glad you love the show. I just so honored to be in the company of all these geniuses, and they are every last one of them. And
Every one of them. So,
the biggest thing, if you get killed off or you get written out or whatever, is you have to leave your family. Because you
mhm.
become family in a situation like this.
Yeah,
Some families are better than others, and this particular family is a blessing. It's just a blessing to me.
absolutely. Before we go, I'm going to give you the chance, as always, to plug your places where your fans can find you, and
Yes.
let us know what you got going on next.
Floor
Right.
is yours. Well, I can't say what it is, but I just
When have you not said that on this show?
I know. I always
And
do.
I love that every single time because you give me another surprise to look forward to.
No, I'm very excited about this project. It'll be a feature film, and I'll be shooting it probably in another month or so. And again, it's with people that I worked with before that are just fabulous. So that's cool. That just came down the path. And IMDb is the best place to check out. I've got something like 20 demo reels on there. There's clips from the Burbs on there, and Man on the Inside, and Narcos, all the shows. I don't have a website, but IMDb covers everything for me, and people can check me out there. I did a horror film last year that's on the festival circuit now called Infirmary. It's doing real well. Play a real scary lady in that, Mrs. Downey, and we shot it in an abandoned hospital. So it's on the circuit, the festival circuit. It may be coming to states where some of your listeners live. And yeah, and still doing the care acting for Kaiser, working with the doctors for improving patient communications and care, and auditioning all the time, and open, ready, wanting to work. I want to get Kiki's handle. She's Kiki, get another job, Palmer. I want to be Danielle, got a new job, Kennedy.
Would also like to, quickly add, if you want to see Danielle go toe to toe and kick the boots on Jamie Foxx, you could check her out on Day Shift as well on Netflix.
Day Shift. That's right.
Absolutely, one of my favorite bits and scenes that you've done. It's just
that was
it's
fun.
incredible.
Yeah, that was fun.
Well, Danielle, thank you again, and keep up the great work and everything. We'll look forward to seeing what you got going on next.
Oh, thank you, Dax. You're the best.
Thank you. Folks, I hope you enjoyed this very special episode of Talk Time Live exclusive. On behalf of myself and the one and only lovely Danielle Kennedy, all I gotta say is learn to let go, live life, and love all things anime, comics, movies, and games. This is ACMG Presents Talk Time Live. We are out of here. Take care and have a great one.